Assalamu alaikum. In this lecture we will learn about CSS selectors. But first we will install this live server. Go to the extension and search for live server. We will not install this VS live share. We will install this live server. Click the install button. And after installation of this, let's close the file. Selectors are really one of the most important concepts you can learn in web development. You can't style anything on a web page without first using a selector to target the various items. In this lecture, we are going to learn all about CSS selectors. We will look at the simple selectors such as type, class, ID, universal, and attribute based. Then we will look at combinations like the Descendant combinator, child combinator, adjacent sibling combinator, and the General Sibling combinator. Simple selectors. Simple CSS selectors or selectors that are most commonly used and cover a good amount of use cases. The simple CSS selectors include selecting by the HTML tag name, selecting by a specific ID, selecting with a class name, and selecting using various combinations of attributes. Type or element selector. Type selector targets all elements that match the given node name. ID selector. The ID selector selects the HTML element based on the value contained in its ID attribute. An ID selector is used when you want to target one specific element on the web page. Class selector. The class selector is the most useful of the available CSS selectors. In fact, almost all modern CSS frameworks allow you to style elements by simply applying a class name. It is useful to have many elements on the same page that share a given class name. It is helpful to have many elements on the same page that share a given class. This helps to allow the reuse of styles, leading to less repetition in the CSS code. Attribute selectors. Square brackets are used to create an attribute selector in CSS. This selector selects tags based on the existence or value of an HTML attribute. There are various types of attribute selectors in CSS. Attribute. The attribute selector is used to target elements on the web page with the given attribute. Attribute value. The attribute value selector is used to target elements on the web page with the given attribute and a specified value. This selector is used to target elements that have an attribute value containing a specified word. This selector targets elements with an attribute value that can be exactly as given or can begin with the value immediately followed by a hyphen. Caret operator. Attribute value has a caret operator, which means to start with. This will target elements on the page where the given attribute starts with a specific value. This attribute selector makes use of the $, which is the opposite of the caret operator. While the caret means to start with, the dollar symbol means ends with. The final attribute substring selector we will look at makes use of the static operator, which stands for contains. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to check out more lessons like this, then subscribe to the channel and like the video. And if you have any question, then leave it in comment section. See you in the next lecture. Take care. Bye bye.